March the 15th, I should say. Race number 10 down at Gulfstream Park. It's a one-turn mile. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. You've got a field of 10 signed on in here. Let's take a look at the field. You've got 2 horses that are going to take the lion's share of the money, but we're going to go right in post position order. You can go over to the Races of the Day page, get your free Formulator past performances, and come along with us. The number 1, Joshua's comprised, Mike. I don't have a lot to say. He's 258 lifetime. He just doesn't look good enough.
Right. Let's not waste a lot of time talking about him.
Let's move on to the number 2, Rally Cry for Todd Pletcher. Off of a long layoff. Haven't seen him since the Easy Goer at Belmont back in June of last year. Did some good things as a 3-year-old. The layoff doesn't really bother me with Pletcher. The question for you is he good enough?
Yeah, I think he is. It's going to be very interesting to see what he does. I think he's one of those horses, I think they always thought pretty highly of him for whatever reason. Things didn't go great for him last year, but I thought he ran fine in several of his races, and I liked his Easy Goer. I don't know what you thought about that race. I thought that he actually ran pretty well in there. It went to the closers at the end, and he was sort of contesting it for a while, and I thought he ran fine. The thing that I like most about him in this race, I think, is Pletcher's great with these horses. Dirt routers off of long layoffs. His numbers are just ridiculous. I just wrote it down for quick, just to throw it out there. Past 2 years in 180-plus day layoffs in dirt routes, he's 17 for 38. ROI's almost $3. At Gulfstream in that sample, he's 6 for 12. Yep. I mean, these horses come back and run off of layoffs.
They're ready to go. The other interesting thing, too, for a horse like Rally Cry is it looks like we're going to have a reasonably quick pace signed on. Yeah. We can take a look at the pace projector here from our friends at Timeform US, and it looks like, based on that, he should work out a pretty cushy trip.
Yeah, exactly right. He doesn't need the lead, but he'll be close to it, and if they go at it in front of him, he's probably sitting in the garden spot.
As you can see, the fast pace is the way it looks, and the one that will be out on the front is the 3 Bluegrass Singer for Dale Romans. This is a horse, if you just go on the Timeform US ratings, the 123 last out, that is far and away the fastest last out Timeform US rating in the field. The 91 buyer leaves some room for him to come through if he's going to actually get there and be good enough. We know where he's going to be. My question for you, I have doubts about how far he wants to go. Now we go out to a mile. Does this help him?
Yeah, I don't know if it does or not. I kind of prefer him sprinting. I sort of look at it, though, and I know that the pace projector says it's going to be a fast pace. It probably will be a legitimate pace because he's in the race and he's fast. I don't know what you're going to get from the 7 Dream Setter, who they have as the other speed, and obviously he has speed in his own right, but I don't know if he's necessarily a one-way speed who has to be up there. This horse could get loose early, and I guess that would help his chances. I'm not a huge fan of his, man. I don't think he's that good a horse. But if he gets loose, it helps his chances.
If he were loose going 7, I would like him a little bit more. But, I mean, in a way, wasn't it the same scenario as last time, and he got short and he got run down?
And he really had no excuse in that race. I mean, he took a little pressure up there, but he had the lead to himself through the turn, and he just couldn't hold the horse to beat him.
The 4, Izzy the Warrior, another Dale Romans trainee in here, very lightly raced, only going out 3 times. Hasn't done a heck of a lot wrong. My concern at this point, if you couldn't get through last time in that condition, non-winners of 3, how are you going to get through here with these 2 horses off the layoff that look like they're just much better?
It feels like a tougher spot, and he's got to stretch out for the first time here, and he's probably going to have to do it from off the pace this time, and maybe he can. I like the horse that beat him last time. I think that Hammer's Vision's actually okay, but I don't like the race that this horse ran.
J.S. Bach is the number 5. Used to be with Todd Pletcher. This is going to be the first start out for Joe Sharp in the new barn. The blinkers come back off. A horse who, he's got a couple of races on his page that are fast enough to be competitive in here. His recent form leaves a lot to be desired, and who knows, maybe a change of scenery, does that move him up?
It could. I mean, you're right, though. He's got races on the go back that would put him there. It just feels like maybe he's not that horse anymore, and he couldn't run those races towards the end of last year. Pletcher just totally gave up on him last time, and he got beat again. I don't know. I guess if he somehow finds a way to rebound, he could contend here, but I'm not high on his chances.
Cheyenne Bull is the 6. The most recent run, he ran 3rd in a race where no one really made up any ground. But the bigger point about that race is you go back and watch. He was held in the starting gate. He wiped out half the field. Because of that, he was declared a non-starter. I think that run was much better than it actually looks on paper. The problem is, even if it is, he's still not fast enough.
Right, he's got to improve again. I think you're right. I was actually surprised he ran 3rd after the start he got off to in that race. It's kind of amazing. I don't know that he's good enough. I don't love that race came off of a layoff. There's been another layoff since, so obviously maybe something went wrong there. There's almost no workout activity for this horse. I don't know what they're doing with him. We talked about it a little before we came on. The 2 favorites look solid to me. I don't love either one of them, but they look solid to me. I couldn't find the other horse that I wanted to go with, though. I wanted it to be him. I really tried to talk myself into this horse. Maybe if he's sitting up there at 15-1, I'll bet a couple bucks on him, because I did like his 2 wins at Monmouth over the summer.
We talked about how a horse like J.S. Bach has a couple of races going back that are good enough to be competitive. The 7 Dream Saturday has races on his page that are good enough to win. The question now becomes, at 6 years old, a newly sort of clipped gelding.
Yes, right.
You know, what are we going to get from him? First start for Gustavo Delgado. I'm not holding those races in Northern California against him. He didn't have to like the Tapeta surface.
Right.
Getting back to the dirt, and even going back to July of last year, his Iowa Sprint, that makes him a player in here.
I agree with that. I mean, he's got races that would make him a contender. He's got speed to put himself into the game early, and if he's up on the pace with Bluegrass Singer early, maybe he can get the better of that horse and be tough in here. I mean, he's sort of the classic dirtied up kind of horse. 2 synthetic races, 3 stakes races prior to that when they sent him to California, and that mile and an 8th race where he missed the break at Saratoga before that. I mean, he's got all these races. They're almost so easy to toss, and he's got races that make him a contender.
Seems like his best races come at 3/4 and 7/8. Does the mile bother you?
I don't know. Not really. I think he can get the mile. Maybe he's a better sprinter, but I think a 1-turn mile should be fine.
The 8 Coltimus Prime is a horse that, going way back, looked like he was going to be okay. For a minute, he was on the Derby trail.
Yeah.
The big problem for a horse like this, not just that he's 2 for 23, he hasn't won since the Prince of Wales Stakes back in 2014.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he won. It's not like, I mean, that was a dirt race when he won that Prince of Wales, and it was a very slow pace. He sat up there with the horse that ran second. They went 1-2 around the track in there. And since then, I don't like his dirt form. I like his synthetic and turf races better.
He's going to need to improve at the end of the day, regardless of what surface he's on. The 9 Adulator is the other big horse in here coming off of the layoff. Jimmy Jerkin sends this one out. The Discovery, he was just kind of even. I thought he was in a really good spot. He didn't kick on with it at all. His run 2 back at Belmont and even 3 back, those are the ones that at least make me intrigued with him and think that maybe there is something still more here.
I agree.
Preferably at the 1-turn.
I agree. I like the 1-turn for him. He did win at 9 furlongs at Saratoga, but that was a relatively weak field, and he got it done. I will say his Discovery, I think you're right, he didn't finish great in that race, but he was right on the rail the entire way. I thought November 12th was the day he didn't want to be on the rail, and he was down there the entire way. Maybe that's an excuse for him. I like him as a horse. I think this is a good spot for him to come back, and I think this is a good distance for him. I picked him in this race, spoiler alert, but I've made a lot of excuses for him along the way. And you can go back through his races and make excuses for them. The Dead Rail and the Discovery, there was a stumble at the start in one of his races. He got caught up in a contested pace one start before that. I mean, there are ways, I'm getting tired of making excuses for him, but I still think he's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like he's got ability, but like you say, you get to a certain point and you go, how many more times can I give you a pass and say because of X, Y, or Z until maybe you're not good enough to get the job done. The 10 Conquest Biggie is a horse I was just completely wrong about. I liked him as a 2-year-old. I picked him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I thought he had a chance in there, and then he absolutely ran up the track. Since then, he has done absolutely nothing. Now he goes out for new connections, new trainer, new owner. This is going to be his second start with this outfit. His first start with them, though, left a lot to be desired. I understand he came from way out of it, and that's just not a style that wins in these 1-turn races at Gulfstream. Boy, the blinker's on. You better hope that wakes him up.
You really should. I agree with you. I was on him for a while. I thought he just looked like the kind of horse who one day the light would go on and he'd be good.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened. I didn't like his last race at all. Maybe he'll improve off of that one, but I couldn't take him.
He's going to need to improve in a big, big way if he's going to be competitive in here. The formula race of the day for Wednesday, race number 10. Let's take a look at our picks. Mike, you already tipped your hand. You like Adulator in here. For all the right reasons. I mean, look, he has good races. It's just a matter of can he get over the hump.
Yeah, I feel the same way about both he and Rally Cry. I think they both have a chance to be pretty good if they can put together a whole campaign here as older horses. I think they're both all right.
My concern, I should say, about Rally Cry more so is you watch him run. His gallop outs are enormous, and I wonder, look, Pletcher off the bench. I'm not going to be worried about that, but I wonder if down the road, get as much distance as you can in a horse like this. Maybe a race like the Suburban down the road at 1.25 miles. Let him run all day. So Mike and I chalking out Chalker Special for the Wednesday formulated race of the day. Race number 10 at Gulfstream. Scheduled post time is 5:02 Eastern. If you're playing at home, check out DRF Bets. All sorts of good deals, up to a $300 sign-up bonus, plus much, much more. DRF.com/trifecta is the address. Again, scheduled post time 5:02 for the Wednesday formulator race of the day. Race number 10 down at Gulfstream. Best of luck.